Today we're taking a look at these college basketball matches, which are happening on Saturday, February 4th, 2023, and giving you our team picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want to access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comment section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comment section below. Colorado State Rams vs Utah State Aggies. Sitting at 18-5 and 7-3 in conference play, the season is shaping up as a good one for the Utah State's Aggies. The Aggies travel to Fort Collins to battle the Colorado State Rams. The Aggies lost both games to the Rams last season and are looking for some revenge in this contest. The Aggies have won 4 of their last 5 games and 4 of their last 7 road games. They are playing well offensively on the road, scoring more than 76 points per game. They've taken advantage of their chances at the charity stripe, making over 73% of their free throws on the road. They rebound the ball well and they're aggressive on the offensive glass, which will give them more scoring chances. They also do a good job protecting the ball and won't give the Rams a lot of easy scoring opportunities. The Rams aren't very good defensively and they played worse in recent games, giving up more than 73 points per game in their last 3 games and will have a hard time slowing down the Aggies in this game. The Rams have lost 4 straight games and 3 straight home games. They usually play well offensively, but they were held under 70 points in 2 of their last 3 games. They don't rebound the ball as well as the Aggies and won't get a lot of extra scoring opportunities against them. They were careless with the ball in their last 3 games, which will lead to easy scoring opportunities for the Aggies. The Aggies aren't very good defensively, but they are playing well at the moment and held their last 3 opponents to 70 points per game, so expect them to keep Colorado State's offense in check. Go with Utah State to cover the spread. Georgia vs Texas A&M. The Georgia Bulldogs, 14-8 4-5 SEC, will be trying to snap their 3-game road losing streak when they face the Texas A&M Aggies, 15-7, 7-2 SEC, on Saturday night. The Bulldogs are coming off a 94-73 loss to Auburn as 12-point underdogs. The Aggies are coming off an 81-70 loss to Arkansas as 3.5-point underdogs. The Aggies have won 9 of their last 11 games and 10 of their last 11 home games. They have played well offensively at home, scoring more than 73 points per game. They've also done well at the charity stripe, making over 72% of their free throws. They do a good job finding the open man and they're very aggressive on the offensive glass, which will give them more scoring chances. They also cut down on their turnovers in recent games, coughing up the ball less than 9 times per game in their last 3 games, and won't give the Bulldogs a lot of easy scoring opportunities. The Bulldogs usually play well defensively, but they've struggled on the road, giving up more than 75 points per game, so expect them to have a hard time slowing down the Aggies in this game. The Bulldogs have lost 4 of their last 5 games and 4 of their last 5 road games. They have struggled offensively on the road, scoring less than 70 points per game. They struggled at the free throw line in their last 3 games, making less than 70% of their shots. They don't rebound the ball as well as the Aggies and won't get a lot of extra scoring opportunities against them. They've also been careless with the ball, which will lead to easy scoring opportunities for the Aggies. The Aggies have done a great job defensively this season and they play better at home where they are holding opponents under 60 points per game, so expect them to keep Georgia's offense in check. Go with Texas A&M to cover the spread. Kentucky Wildcats vs Florida Gators. Both Florida, 13-9, 6-3, and Kentucky, 15-7, 6-3, have struggled more than expected this season, but both are playing well at the moment, so that should lead to a good game on Saturday when they play in Lexington. The Wildcats have won 5 of their last 6 games and 11 of their last 13 home games. They have played well offensively at home, scoring more than 80 points per game. They do a good job finding the open man and they're very aggressive on the offensive glass, grabbing more than 11 offensive rebounds per game, which will give them more scoring opportunities. They also do a good job protecting the ball and won't give the Gators a lot of easy scoring opportunities. The Gators have played well defensively, but they're not as efficient on the road and will have a hard time slowing down the Wildcats in this game. The Gators have won 3 of their last 4 games, but they lost 2 of their last 3 road games. They have struggled offensively on the road, where they are scoring a little over 65 points per game. They don't rebound the ball as well as the Wildcats, and they've been careless with the ball on the road, which will give the Wildcats, who average more than 7 steals per game at home, easy scoring opportunities. The Wildcats are very good defensively, and they play better at home where they are holding opponents under 65 points per game, so expect them to keep Florida's offense in check. Go with Kentucky to cover the spread. Minnesota Golden Gophers vs Maryland Terrapins. Maryland, 15-7, 7-4, has things going in the right direction, and the Terrapins hope to keep it that way when they play at Minnesota, 7-14, 1-10 on Saturday. The Terrapins have won 4 of their last 5 games. They are playing well offensively, scoring more than 73 points per game in their last 3 games. They've taken advantage of their opportunities at the charity stripe during that span, making over 80% of their free throws. They are very aggressive on the offensive glass, which will give them more scoring opportunities. They also did a good job protecting the ball, turning it over less than 10 times per game in their last 3 games, so don't expect them to give the Golden Gophers a lot of easy scoring opportunities. The Golden Gophers usually play well defensively, but they struggled in recent games, giving up more than 77 points per game in their last 3 games, and will have a hard time slowing down the Terrapins in this game. The Golden Gophers have lost 6 straight games and 4 straight home games. They have struggled offensively, even at home where they are scoring a little over 62 points per game. They've also struggled at the free throw line, making less than 60% of their shots from the charity stripe. Their rebounding has been good and will help them stay in this game, but they're careless with the ball, which will lead to easy scoring opportunities for the Terrapins, who average more than 5 steals per game on the road. The Terrapins are very good defensively and held their last 3 opponents under 60 points per game, so expect them to keep Minnesota's offense in check. Go with Maryland to cover the spread. Pacific vs BYU. BYU is a much better defensive team than Pacific, and the Cougars proved it with that 20-point victory at Pacific in December. The Cougars out-rebounded the Tigers 45-29 and held Pacific to 32.1% shooting from the field. Despite making a whopping 21 turnovers, the Cougars had no problems beating the Tigers on the road, and I'm expecting to see more of the same when Pacific visits Marriott Center. The Cougars just beat Loyola Marymount by 28 points, and the Lions are arguably a better team than Pacific, especially on the defensive side of the ball. BYU is 4-1 at TS in its last 5 outings on the home floor and 4-2 at TS in its previous 6 encounters with Pacific. Our team pick is the BYU Cougars minus 13 points. Washington vs Southern California. The college hoops betting action continues Saturday, February 4, 2023, with the Washington Huskies facing off against the USC Trojans in the Pac-12 conference battle at Galen Center in Los Angeles, California. The Huskies and Trojans meet for the 2nd time this season, and USC defeated Washington 80-67 as a 2.5-point road fave with a total of 139.0 points on December 30th. The Trojans open as 10-point home favorites this time around, while the totals sit at 142.0 points. Covering a 9-point spread against the Huskies won't be an easy task by any means, but I'm not standing in front of the red-hot Trojans. USC erased a 13-point deficit against UCLA, and its offense has hit a 70-point mark in 4 of the last 5 games. Also, the Trojans have already defeated the Huskies by double digits, so I'm laying points with USC. Keep your eyes on Boogie Ellis, 16.6 ppg, who had 27 points against Washington in December. Ellis has averaged 19.0 points and 4.2 assists over his last 6 appearances. USC is 6-1 at TS in its last 7 games overall, 5-0 at TS in its last 5 outings at home, and 4-2 at TS in its previous 6 meetings with Washington. Our team pick is the USC Trojans minus 10 points. San Diego Toreros vs Loyola Marymount Lions. Loyola Marymount, 16-8, 6-4, is enjoying a winning streak that began a couple of weeks ago with a 14-point win over San Diego, 10-14, 3-7. The last time they played, Loyola Marymount shot 55% overall and 56% from three-point land and pulled away in the second half. San Diego shot a respectable 47% in that game and hopes for better things in a rematch at home. In San Diego's last 8 games they only have 2 wins, and both came facing a Pepperdine team that is the only winless team in WCC play. They were throttled in their last game facing a Portland team that is under .500 in conference play and overall. On top of that, they were at home. LMU lost to a good BYU team on the road in their last game, snapping their 4-game win streak. The first win of that streak was at home where they put up 98 points on San Diego in a 14-point win. The Lions will get their roar back in this game and get the W and cover facing a reeling Toreros club. Our team pick is Loyola Marymount. Arizona State Sun Devils vs Oregon Ducks. The Oregon Ducks visit Desert Financial Arena in Tempe, Arizona on Saturday for a Pac-12 battle against the Arizona State Sun Devils. Oregon dropped to 13-10 overall and 7-5 in Pac-12 play following its 91-76 loss to Arizona on Thursday. The leading scorer for Oregon was Will Richardson with 22. Prior to the loss, the Ducks had won 2 straight and 4 of the previous 5. The Sun Devils hammered the Ducks in their first meeting of the season, leading by as many as 29 points. Arizona State made 52.4% of its field goals, 13 for 29 from deep, posted an excellent 29th assist-to-turnover ratio, and outrebounded Oregon 37-29. I'm expecting to see a much tighter contest this Saturday, and it could easily go either way. Arizona State has struggled a lot since beating Oregon. On the other side, the Ducks have been inconsistent all season long. They haven't won 3 straight games since December, but also haven't lost 2 in a row since November. Oregon is 4-2 Austrian shillings in its last 6 showings following a straight-up loss, so I lean the Ducks in this clash. With both Arizona State and Oregon struggling to shoot the ball from deep, I certainly have more faith in Oregon's inside game. Our team pick is the Oregon Ducks -1 point. Wyoming vs San Jose State. We have a Mountain West Conference NCAA men's basketball game on Saturday night between the Wyoming Cowboys and the San Jose State Spartans, taking place at the Provident Credit Union Events Center. The Cowboys are 7-14, 2-7 so far, and are coming off an 85-62 home win on Tuesday against the Fresno State Bulldogs. The Spartans are 13-9, 4-5 right now, and are coming off a 72-51 road loss against the San Diego State Spartans on Saturday. This is the only time during the regular season that these teams face off. When diving into KenPom's adjusted efficiency margin, there is a large difference between these programs, as San Jose State is 113th in the country with a plus 4.84 rating, while Wyoming is 153rd in college basketball with a plus 1.11 rating thus far. A huge reason is the ability to grab rebounds, as there is a massive difference with the Cowboys being 275th in the sport with 32.5 total rebounds per game, while the Spartans are 116th in the nation with 35.7 total rebounds per game thus far. All in all, go with a better program that covers the spread more effectively to do just that. Our team pick is San Jose State Spartans -3 points. St. Mary's Gales vs Gonzaga Bulldogs. Number 18 St. Mary's, 24-9-0, leads the West Coast Conference race and hosts number 12 Gonzaga, 19-4-8-1, on Saturday to try to stay atop the league standings. Both teams are having good years as expected, but it may be a bit of a surprise that St. Mary's is in first place. St. Mary's beat Gonzaga last year at home. Gonzaga is arguably a better offensive team than St. Mary's, but the Gales have just enough defensive weapons to contain the Zags' prolific offense. Mitchell Saxon and Kyle Bowen will guard Drew Timm, while the Gales' backcourt is full of solid defensive stoppers, including senior G. Logan Johnson, 12.1 PPG, 4.9 RPG, 3.9 APG. I'm expecting to see a tight battle down the stretch and would take the Gales because of their defense. The Gales can score too, and I only worry about their free throw shooting, 66.2%, 317th. But when it comes to shooting from the field, the Gales are as good as anyone in the country. On the other side, the Bulldogs can put a serious number on the scoreboard, but their defense has been shaky all season long. Gonzaga is 1-6 at TS in its last 7 outings on the road. Of course, Gonzaga has dominated St. Mary's over the last few years, going 8-1 Sioux and 5-3-1 at TS in their previous 9 encounters. Our team pick is the St. Mary's Gales -3.5 points.